Hey everybody, in this video I want to talk about dynamic input. In the previous lessons we learned absolute coordinates, we learned about relative coordinates, we learned about polar coordinates and how to draw with each of those different coordinate systems. So in this video I want to show you how to use the dynamic input, but some of y'all, if you accidentally had the dynamic input button turned on, your lines didn't go exactly where you wanted them to go. So I'm going to demonstrate kind of why that happened. So let's just say that my dynamic input right now, it's turned off. So if I want to draw a line, let's say I'm going to use absolute coordinates. So let's say that my start point is going to be of my line. Let's say it's 2, 5 or 4. I typed in 2, 4. And then I want the end point of that line to be at absolute coordinate 10, 10. Right, so you can see it. We went over 10 squares, we went up 10 squares, so that's right where I wanted it. All right, so now let's do the same thing, but we're gonna turn on the dynamic input button. And if you don't see that, let me talk about that right quick. If you don't see that, the way that I do it, I go over to the custom menu over here, the 3 lines. Just look for dynamic input. If it's not checked, just make sure you click it and check it on, and just click anywhere off that menu to kind of close it. So now you can see your dynamic input button is down here. So just click it to make sure that it turns blue, and that way you know that it's on. But let's say I'm going to draw that same line combination again with dynamic input on. So I'm going to go up to line. I want to start at 2, 4. And then let's say I want it to end at absolute coordinate 10, 10. So I'm going to type in 10, 10. And you can see, okay, that's like, whoa, what's going on here? That is not where I wanted the end of that line to be. And why did it do that? So whenever you have your dynamic input button on, dynamic input is kind of a combination of using relative coordinates with polar. So let me just kind of show you what I mean by that. So if I want to start a line and I want to start it, let's say here on this point here, you notice as I drag my cursor and my crosshairs out, you see there's a number that's kind of highlighted in blue. And then there's also a number, you see where it says specify next point, or there's a number kind of below that that's kind of shaded gray, and it has the degree symbol next to it. So what the dynamic input, it's set up to where it's asking you for a distance of your line that's relative to where your last coordinate was. So you can see right now it's 11.25. That's the length of my line right now. So if I drag it out further, you can see that number is getting larger and larger. That's kind of the current length of that line. And also the number in gray there where it says 30 degrees, that's kind of telling you what that angle is right now of your current line. So you could just, if you want it to be like 20, your line to be 20 units long, I could just type in 20. And then I could hit the tab key. And now it's asking you, okay, what angle do you want that line to be? So let's say I want it to be 45. Let's type in 45. So then it's going to draw a line, however many units long you wanted it and whatever angle that you typed it in. So with dynamic input turned on, if you just type in like an X and a Y value, it's not set up to where it's measuring your X and Y value from the origin, like an absolute coordinate. It's the default is set up to where it's measuring it from relative to your last cursor position. So it's kind of backwards from that. So from the way that you're used to. So if you wanted to, you could draw a line, and I could go, let me just start it at 2, 4, which is where we were. If I wanted to draw that at an absolute coordinate of 10, 10, like we did. So if you want an absolute coordinate in dynamic input mode, then you would type in the pound sign first. I know it's complicated. Pound and then 10, 10. And that tells AutoCAD that you're in dynamic input mode and you want this to be a absolute coordinate measured from the origin. So you can see now it ends up on our line 10 boxes over, 10 up. So that's kind of the way it's different. So let me erase these. Another thing I want to show you is, let's say that we draw a line. I'm just going to click my left click just to create a start point for it. So let's put it somewhere here. Notice that the length of my line right now is 9.6, but notice the angle. So the angle is measured, right now if I go counterclockwise, you can see that the angle number is getting higher. It's going to go all the way to 180. So if you want it to go all the way around, say that's more than 180, it's not, you wouldn't type in like 190, 210, 270. It's going to, once I get past the halfway point, the place that it measures it from is going to be clockwise. So it kind of, now you see it's kind of 157. So that it kind of goes up to 180 and then it flips around to measure it from the other side, which is kind of neat, because if I get my numbers too high, just, you know, it freaks me out. So just kind of keep in mind, it still measures it from the right, but it only goes up to like 180 depending on kind of which side you're on. So counterclockwise, and then once you get past 180, it kind of bounces to measure it clockwise that way. So this method here, if you're using architecture, it is the super duper one to use, because usually when you're doing architecture, you're just drawing like horizontal and vertical lines most of the time. So what you want to do is you want to have your object, your ortho mode on. So now whenever I draw a line, I'm just going to click my start point. I just drag my mouse in the direction I want my line to go. Let's say if I want to go to the right, I don't got to worry about the angle now, right? Because ortho mode has that kind of locked in place. So now I just type in the length that I want this line to be. So let's say I want it 10. Let's say I want to go straight up. Again, I don't got to worry about X and a Y value. I just type in the length that I want this to be. So let's say I want this to be 10. I'm going to come over to the left 10, and then back down 10. So let's say that that's kind of like the outside line of our exterior walls. So you just kind of drag in the direction that you want your line to be, type in the distance, press enter, kind of keep going around. So just make sure you have your ortho mode is turned on. And that saves so much time. So that's kind of the basic way to use dynamic input, which is very helpful. And again, if I want, let me erase this. If I want to use angles, so I just kind of type in, I drag my cursor. Let me turn objects or ortho mode off. I just drag the cursor kind of in the direction I want it to go. So I want this line to be, let's say it's 10. I'm just going to type in 10 for the length of this line. I'm not going to press enter here. I want to enter the angle. So I hit the tab key. And now it flips down to where now I can enter whatever angle I want that to be. So let's say I want this to be 15 degrees. And then I can drag it up here. Let's say I want this length to be 5. Hit the tab key. I want that angle to be, I don't know, 45. So like I said at the beginning, it kind of combines relative coordinates and polar coordinates. It kind of makes your life a whole lot easier. So if I wanted to go down, I could just kind of move my mouse or my crosshair the direction I want it to be. So let's say I want this to be 7, tab 35. See how I'm not typing in negative 35 to get that down angle. You kind of look at what it's asking you for. So it's measuring this at a clockwise direction. So let's say I just type in 35. Press enter. There you go. So I think this method is the one that I use the most. And it's probably the one that's the most fastest, but you have all those options of how you can draw lines using whatever coordinate system you want. So the important thing is, there's really not one way that's, I would say, best for everyone. I think this one is, just in case, but there's so many different ways you can do things in AutoCAD. You just have to figure out which one is, works the best, easiest, and fastest for you. Anyway, I hope that helped. And we'll do some exercises kind of using dynamic input. So yeah, peace out.